Welcome back to the Atari ST Nostalgia GFA BASIC tour. Now, in the previous videos we were mainly looking at marking and structuring our code using remarks, procedures and code folding. In this video we will go back to some coding again, and we shall see how we can use different types of code loops. And the code loop is something that actually almost everybody who ever touched the home computers in the 80s or 90s would probably have done, because every time they went into a basic screen, the very first thing they would type is actually 10 print hello or 10 print hello world, and then 20 go to 10 to make it repeat forever. However, GFA BASIC doesn't use code line numbers, so that doesn't work. See, if I say 10 print hello world and I press enter, it says no, sorry, that doesn't work. It's it doesn't understand line numbers, and it will say it's syntax error, and it won't even correct me automatically. So how do we do this? Now, to make a program repeat itself over and over, there's several ways. There's of course one way. I already tried this, which is just by entering the run command at the end of the program. So maybe if I want to make something like I want to set a value at 1 and then say I wanted to say I printed hello world this number of times. So I say okay. I printed hello world. Let's put a space here. X% times. Yeah, now as you can see, it's also forgiving. You saw that I didn't put the semicolons here to actually combine the strings with this variable, but again the editor will do that for me, so sometimes it's nice that it's actually thinking with me. Now the next line will be just okay, I will just run. So I will test the code, it says okay, it's no. So what I would expect is I would have this line, I printed hello world, and then just say okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many times. So let's run and see what happens. And actually the screen is really flickery. I see I made a typo, I printer, so I will correct that. But also what I see is that it actually says 1 time, so it doesn't increase the counter. Nothing. It doesn't work like I want it to be. So let me just break this program. First I will of course put a D. And the reason it's doing this because if I use the run command, it not only will run the code from the beginning, but before that it will actually also reset all variables. So the x is x plus 1, which sets it to 1. But when I enter program, it will set it to 0 again, and then use this command to set it to 1. It will also clear the screen, which is exactly what you saw happening. So this is not the way to do loops, and it would be a useless way anyway, because run is only running the program from the beginning, so you can only loop the whole program and it will not loop a specific type of code. So I can still use the go-to command, which is interesting. So I can still type go to 10 and it will actually accept that, but I would have to tell the interpreter where 10 is, because now it will actually accept 10 as a label. I have to put a label in the code as a marker, which I can do, and I can actually use 10 as a label marker. That actually works. And if I run now, as you can see, oh, it doesn't work because I didn't put I removed the variable from the code. So let me correct that. X equals x string plus 1. And if I run now, you can see that actually I printed hello world, and it will just say okay, I used it several times, and this seems to work. So I will break the program because I didn't put any input to exit this loop. So this is one way to do it. You put a label, use a colon. You can put anywhere here you want. You can use I don't know, Atari, and it will accept it as a label as long as I type Atari here. Anything as long as you end with a colon, so it recognizes this recognizes it as a label, and then it will also work. So that's nice. But this is only one of several ways. Another way to do it is actually, you can do it, and instead of go to, I say loop. So basically I would say do anything behind this command and then then loop it, and it will give exactly the same result. And the nice thing about this one is actually you can actually also put a condition. So I can say until x equals 50, and then you should stop. So now I made instead of an infinite loop, I made a finite loop. It will do this until x is 50, which in this case it will print until 49, I guess. 50, okay. It will end, and it say okay, return. And you can see I can flip to my screen to see the result. It ended after the 50th loop. It ended, so that's nice. Another way, which is almost the same, is I can do a repeat, and the repeat is literally for finite loops, because I have to give an until statement here. So again, I can do until x reaches 50, and it will give the same result. It will actually do it 50 times and then stop. If I do repeat until x is 0, I think it will continue. And why will it continue? Because x actually never, x gets declared, and then actually I make it 1, and then it will actually look at the condition. Sorry. So this condition is actually never met. So you can use a repeat until for infinite loops as well, but it's not meant to do that. It's really used for finite loops that you can use, like for until a value gets done, or you can use this in-key string command. You can also do RSA. Remember this from the input video. Equals 32. This will also work. It will just loop, and it will just loop infinitely until I press the space bar, and it will also enter code. So basically these are conditional loops that are yeah, I don't think I can, if I just use until, it won't recognize the command. Of course I can also use very specific finite loops for is 1 to 100. This is a very familiar one for most people. Basically now I say I will do a counter. So for this counter, I start at 1, and until it reaches 100, I will do this code, and then I will say the next I. So increase I by 1, and then do it again. Yeah, and it will just print it 100 times. So these are the 4 main ways where you can put loops in your programs. Did I forget one? No, I didn't forget one. Yeah, and it really, if you want to do something for a specific number of times, I would actually say just use this for I statement, because otherwise if you use do loop with a counter, you actually have to have some code. You have to put a counter and add some code for that counter inside your loop, and this does that for you. So it's actually the easiest way to do it. And if you yeah, if you do want to do something infinitely, just use do loop, because it's infinite by default. It doesn't need a condition. It always works. And if you want to add a condition, you can also use the until command. But these are the 4 ways of actually doing a loop. Yeah, and I'll do a little follow-up video actually making a program with these 4 loops combined and doing some troubleshooting for the code, but I will do that in a different video, because otherwise this one will get too long. So I hope to see you next time.